Hey there, everyone. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Amber.
We're identical twin sisters from Southern California. While we may look exactly alike, sometimes we think that's all we have in common.
We invite you to grab a cup of coffee
Or a glass of wine.
and hang out with us for a little bit.
This is
#Twin Life Podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, twin. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. I guess I'll intro. We didn't talk about who's going to intro, so I will say welcome.
Oh, yeah.
To my podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Ashley, and that is my twin over there, Amber.
Hello.
We are recording the last episode of this season. We talked about earlier this year that we are going to be breaking the podcast up into seasons. We are not going to be doing 52 episodes this year. We're going to shoot for 30, I believe, or 30-something episodes. So you will still get lots of us on social media and things like that. But this will be the last one until Phoenix goes back to school, starts kindergarten in July. Just to make it a little bit easier, trying to record in the summer with him home every day would just be crazy.
Right.
So, yeah. But on that note, how was your week, twin?
My week was good. I guess it was just like post Mother's Day week. So I just kind of worked, and we are moving into a new apartment soon. We had a little bit of a hiccup about that today, but we will be moving into an apartment soon. It's part of one of my benefits for my new job. So that's awesome. It's like a 3-story townhome design. So I'm really excited about that. So we've kind of just been setting the groundwork for moving in. We also had a couples night. We hosted a couples night again at our house on Friday, and it was super fun.
I don't know why I haven't done one. Like, I have so many friends with kids, and like we used to do them. We were doing them all the time, and then we just kind of stopped. I really think I'm gonna text Derek, be like, "You want to do a game night on Sunday?"
Yeah, like none of our friends. So two couples have kids, but they have tiny ones. Like one just had a baby, the other one's baby turns 1 in like a couple weeks, and so we just haven't. They don't have kids, but that's kind of why we asked them to come to our house, because we were just telling them, like, look, we can't be shelling out ever much every Friday to come hang out with you guys. And so, it actually I didn't even have to say that, because our friends are awesome. And they're like, do you want us to just come over there? Cause you have the kid, like we could just come to you.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And they were awesome. Like Landon, the first time we did it, I had Landon asleep and like out, but then every single time everybody was like, where's Landon? Like they wanted to see him. And so he was up with us this whole time, and everybody was just awesome with him. Like it wasn't like having your kid. It was like everybody was just engaged with him and paying attention to him. And he wasn't like, nobody was acting like he was annoying or in the way or anything. It was just really nice. So, but yeah, so we had a lot of fun. We made wings. Blake made delicious wings. Everybody just chowed him down. We are just really good hosts. We host really well. So yeah. It was awesome. So that was a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. My week pretty much was, post Mother's Day. Just had a super relaxing Mother's Day. And then this week, it's just been a pretty regular week. Phoenix has actually been still going to his workouts. He's been doing really good at the workouts. I went to lunch with my friend Angela on Friday, and I had pho for the first time. And so if you don't know what pho is, it's basically like
soup,
Vietnamese soup, with like noodles in the base, and then like you can get it vegetarian, but there's like tons of meat. And she got me this one that had like 6 different kinds of beef in it.
It's kind of like ramen, sort of.
Yeah, it's like ramen, super high in sodium, but super good. It tasted so good, and like she was so great because she like walked me through like all the different kinds of noodles and meat and how you're supposed to eat it and all this stuff. And we just had a great time. Like it was super, super fun. And she ended up actually buying me lunch, which I was like not expecting. So I was like, that was so sweet. Like it
sounded like a date.
Like, it does sound like a date, right? It was fun. It was super fun. So yeah. And then it's funny because I brought it back on Friday, and I guess I forgot to tell Derek that I had it. So I brought it back for him because the bowls are humongous bowls. And he was like, I pulled it out because he went to the store yesterday. We were cleaning out the fridge, and I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you that I still have this fun. He was like, oh my gosh, I totally would have eaten this already. So he literally, like, when I tell you he devoured it, like he was like jokingly, he was like, you better be happy that I didn't meet a nice Vietnamese woman before I met you.
Blake loves pho also. Oh my gosh, she loves pho.
Literally, you would have thought, like, I don't even know. I guess I need to learn how to make it because he loved it so much. Anyways, so that was pretty much my week. I had a lot of fun going out to lunch with her. So,
yay.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into the topic, and I have to give our mom credit because she kind of like was highlighting this, and I think that it's a perfect topic for what's been going on this week in the country. So if you have your head in the sand, and some people are no longer paying attention to anything having to do with COVID. If your city or state or whatever is relatively open, you probably don't have to pay too much attention. Like if you live in Texas, for example,
or here.
Yeah, or in Indy, you probably don't have to pay too much attention. However, since I live in California, it's been a big to-do with all this COVID stuff. So apparently, President Biden came down with because the CDC put out a statement that said, hey, if you're vaccinated, you no longer have to wear a mask in most places, except for indoor situations where they're requiring it or you're going to be around a large group of people. So that basically means everywhere still. So if you're going to go to the grocery store or you're going to be inside anywhere, basically they say you should wear a mask. Now, the only exception is obviously if you're vaccinated. This created a big to-do on social media because the people, funny enough, the people that haven't been wanting to wear a mask this entire time are typically the people that aren't getting vaccinated. Okay?
Yeah, which is very asinine to me.
Huh?
Which is absolutely asinine to me.
What?
That people are complaining about not wanting to wear masks and not getting vaccinated. If you don't want to wear a mask, take your happy behind to go get your vaccine if it just so bothers you. But these same people are like, no, I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to get vaccinated. I'm just going to be out here in the streets just wilding out. And then sorry, go ahead.
So I would say that Derek falls in that category. He falls in the category of people that are like, I haven't gotten COVID in 2 years. COVID's been out here for 18 months. We're pretty sure we got it before in November of 2019 or December or whatever when we all got sick. We have not gotten sick thus far. Derek while he is under 30, he is still extremely, like he goes into people's homes every day. So to him, he's like, if somebody was going to get COVID, it would have been me already. Phoenix has been in school this entire time. He's had people whose parents had COVID. They had to quarantine. There's been whole classrooms that have had to quarantine. I've had literally half of the F45 studio has had COVID. Some of them have had COVID multiple times, and none of us have gotten it. So his mindset is like, well, we've been extremely exposed. Now we're healthcare workers. No. So not healthcare workers, not to that exposure, or people that work in, Walmart or people like that. But for the most part, we've been doing the same thing. I've been taking Phoenix to the playground without a mask, all these things, right? So to him, he's like, why do I need to get it? I probably have antibodies. Now there's people on the other side who are, what I was going to say was what I've noticed is that the people who did get vaccinated are saying, I've seen this multiple times, and this is a quote of somebody's comment, was that, well, I'm going to keep wearing a mask because I don't want to look like a Republican. Now, there's so many things wrong with that statement.
It's absurd.
Yes, but it kind of goes. But to me, it makes
oh
no
my
sense.
gosh.
It's like you're getting vaccinated, and if you're saying anyways, this is not what this episode is about. What it is about is that it's kind of like that you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't type of mentality.
For sure.
People who are vaccinated are scared not of getting COVID. They're scared of people talking shit about them in public. That's literally why. People who are literally like, if you believe that you're getting vaccinated and you are going to be immune to COVID and your family is protected and all of these things, right?
Right.
Then why do you care if Susie Q in freaking Walmart sees you not wearing a mask or whatever and starts criticizing you?
So in our friends group that we have, there are mixed emotions about the mask wearing. Okay. Mm-hmm. One of our close couple friends are just like, I'm not out here wearing a mask. And we ended up actually having a pretty, like, it was a good conversation, but it didn't change her mind any. But we had a conversation about it because she was saying one of our girlfriends is going to be is training for the police academy, and she went and got vaccinated because she's like, they're probably going to at some point require us to be vaccinated. To me, if you can require children to have vaccinations to go to school, you can require police officers and medical workers to have vaccinations to be employed.
Yeah,
that to me seems ridiculous that people are so offended by that. Okay. But she's just like, well, you should just not work there. And I'm going to boycott this grocery store, this store out here called Menards, like still requires you to wear a mask. While Walmart and places like that are no longer requiring people to wear masks inside the store if you're vaccinated, quote unquote. But obviously they're not having people like, right. They're not having people check cards of like, do you have your vaccination card with you? Like, they're not doing that. So it's weird in our family because Blake has been vaccinated. Landon was the first of 1,200 kids to be vaccinated. He literally got vaccinated. He got vaccinated a week before they publicly announced that they had the vaccine for his age because I guess clearance. I don't know. So he got the vaccine. I'm the only person in this household that doesn't have a vaccine. What makes me nervous about getting the vaccine is not getting the vaccine. It's being sick after getting the vaccine is what I want to have to deal with. I don't want to have to deal with not feeling good for a couple days and being down for the count because I got vaccinated. That's where my thing is. And that's just because I don't like going to the doctor. I don't like anything involved in that realm. So for me, it's like, it's more of an anxiety thing and more like, I'm sure I would feel very relieved to get my COVID vaccine once I've gotten it. But it's the thought of like having to deal with the symptoms and deal with that stuff after the fact that I'm just like, I really don't want to do that. Like, that's kind of where my mind is. But anyways, we just had this conversation and she's just very against wearing masks, very like against COVID. To me, it's ridiculous to say that COVID does not exist because that's just purely not true. Like, yeah. It's just not true. You can't just like decide, well, the flu doesn't exist or like, people weren't getting polio. Like, no, it's legit an illness. It's a sickness. Do I feel like there should be all this fear involved in it? No. But I do feel like if I'm out, I still feel nervous either way. Because I lived in California for half the time and now I live here, it's like if I go out in public without my mask, I feel some type of way, like not wearing it. And Blake has been going out not wearing his mask for like a couple weeks now.
Gives me anxiety.
Right. But it shouldn't.
So this is one of the things, and then I kind of want to move on to the like the other like examples of this, but yeah, our church put out an announcement basically saying that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. My thought process behind this, or actually, I'm sorry, they didn't say if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. They said we are now making it a personal decision. If you want to rock around out here with no mask at the church, do it. If you don't feel comfortable, don't come. If you don't feel comfortable,
there are 10,000 members at our church and no one wears a mask.
No one. Maybe it's because we went to the early service, but we went to the 9 o'clock service. There were very few people there, inside, but to me, Derek was like, I'm not wearing a mask at all. And I was like, can you please just wear a mask? I will not make Phoenix wear one. But Phoenix is so used to wearing one at this point that he would probably feel weird going inside. Like, I was sitting in the church and I was like, I feel mad weird right now. And I would say it was about a 50-50 split. There was about 50% of people that wore their mask, and there was a small group of people that didn't. There was another group of people who, like me, when they got in their seat, they took their mask off, which I think should have been the case altogether because there was no social distancing signs, nothing. I could have sat right next to the person who was 3 seats down to me, but people were still being courteous of like, okay, we're still going to social distance, especially if I plan to take my mask off. I would like to social distance from the person near me. I am under the thought process that at this point, we should do whatever we think is good for your family. If you think not wearing a mask is what's good for you and your soul and your heart, and that's fine. If you think getting vaccinated is right, cool. At this point, I think the government needs to let go and let people make decisions for themselves and be grown-ups. That's what I think. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't. If you do, do. If you want to get vaccinated, do. If you don't, don't. That's literally where I'm at.
Yeah, I just feel like people are going to have to like, where it gets hard is, of course I'd want it to be that way, but one, our experience going to church, when we walked in and no one had a mask on, we felt hella weird. Like, we literally walked into a building of 5,000 people and we were like, oh, okay. And we like kind of just slowly took our masks off and put them in our pockets. Like, we felt, that was the first time I had felt weird not having a mask. I told Blake, like, I was looking around and I was like, it really does bring me joy to go to church because it's the one place I know I can go where everybody's not going to have masks on, where I can see people's facial expressions. Like, it makes it a lot more enjoyable to go to church. But I mean, yeah, it was definitely awkward as heck to go in and like no one have a mask on. Like, you walk up to people, have full conversations. People are hugging and shaking hands and just communicating like regular human beings. And that church hasn't had one case of COVID. Now, granted, I live in Indiana, so it's not like I'm not out here in like LA, but you know, so anyways, we can move on. But
the idea that you have any sort of anxiety about it in general, wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, it's all because of this perception that has been pushed on us. If you live in Texas and you wear a mask, you're going to get, people are probably going to talk shit to you. If you don't wear a mask in California, people are going to talk shit to you. It's like, basically what I'm saying. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think the other part of this I want to talk about was like, especially since I'm going into the fitness industry and I'm 3 chapters away from being done with the study part of this, is that there's this dynamic in the fitness industry where it's like, on the one hand, I think we talked about this before. Some people say post a progress photo because it's going to inspire people. But you'll also get another side of group of people that are saying don't post progress photos because that's perpetuating a bad representation of like what is the ideal quote unquote body type. It's not fair to say that. It's not fair to say that. There's another example. People out here losing weight. There's a lot of people that were in the heavy quote unquote community that have lost weight. Jennifer Hudson's a perfectly good example of this. She was in the heavy community and now she's lost a bunch of weight. If Lizzo decided in 5 years she's sick of being overweight and probably hypertensive and not being able to breathe and feeling like crap and exhausted and all the things that I'm sure come along with her, the fact that she has a BMI probably over 50%, and that's just pure science, that's not me being like judgmental of her. When she's sick of feeling like that, she will lose weight like the other people. But she's going to get people that are like, well, you abandoned the community. What happened to body positivity? What happened to just loving the body you're in? Well, okay. What happened to just being healthy and saying, let's be healthy, whatever. But either way, if you criticize her, you suck. But on the other hand, if you're in the fitness industry and you're looking at her, you're saying, well, she's probably not healthy. But if you say that, people are going to talk like, say, you know, basically talk crap to you because you're like, well, you're criticizing her and you're this and that. It's like, there doesn't have to be this dynamic. There has to be a dynamic of just in general, what is going to be loving and what is not. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be attacked by somebody just because you're saying it and not making decisions. Even with the vaccine, and I know I said I was going to segue from this, but even with the vaccine, the idea perpetuated in California versus the dynamic that's perpetuated in other parts of this country, and I can't speak to that because my bubble is California, is completely different. It is. Here, it is literally feels like every person I know is getting vaccinated. I'm sure if I lived in Dallas, Texas, not one person would be like, literally you would be in the minutia if you got vaccinated. And
well, apparently 1 in every 4 people in the United States has the vaccine right now.
I guess 1 in every 4 person over the age of 16.
Well, I don't know. Adults
getting vaccinated.
Adults. I guess it's 1 in every 4 adults, but still, like it's. But again, like that's true. I'm sure people are. We had some friends that were posting like that they got vaccinated and like that live in Texas, but they also live in Austin. They don't live in Dallas. But
yeah.
Another example that I literally just thought of when you were talking about that is hair.
Yeah.
So during COVID, like the quarantine, I was really, really watching a lot of videos about like taking care of my hair because I had to take care of my hair on my own at home. And so I was learning how to do twist outs and watching a lot of like curly girl, videos and all that stuff. And, I recently just took my hair down out of braids and I was doing twist outs for the first 2 weeks I was out of braids. I did twist outs. This last week I decided to flat iron my hair at home because I live in Indiana and I can wear my hair straight for probably 3 or 4 weeks straight without having to really put a whole lot of heat on it, like maybe some low heat for styling, and that's about it. And I definitely felt some type of way about it, though. I was like, okay, but I've watched a lot of videos of women saying I switched from being a curly girl to a straight hair girl, because because both of them are natural styles, but it's easier to manage and maneuver your hair when it's at least kind of straightened.
Yeah.
Like my hair's not bone straight right now, but I literally just wear it in like, I have it in 2 like little low pigtails with bangs in the front, or I wear them in like, my hair's long enough now to where I can wear like kind of in like a high little, like a little ponytail. And I just like, put some bobby pins behind it with bangs, or like I can half up, half down, like all these styles that I can wear with my hair. That is harder for me to do, almost impossible for me to do because of the shrinkage of my hair, So anyways, that said, I feel like that's one of those things where it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you decide to wear your hair straight or curly for a really long time, and then you decide to straighten it, everybody's always going to be like, well, I mean, you're damaging your hair and you just don't want to, you just don't like your natural style and natural look. And like, it's just my particular hair texture is not doesn't have all the curling. It doesn't have like the pretty, like wash and go curls. It just doesn't have that. At least right now at its length it is. Now maybe as it gets longer, maybe, but I also liked it straighter. I just like having it straight. I like the styles I can do with it. So, but that's one example too.
No one's out here. I mean, I guess there is a criticism. If you're the other 75% of this world that doesn't have the hair texture that you and I have, nobody is out here being like, if your hair is naturally curly, like say you're Irish, right? Irish people tend to have that really spongy, thick, curly red hair, right? The natural texture is not usually straight. If an Irish girl straightens her hair, nobody's out here being like, well, do you not like your natural hair texture? No, they're just thinking she styled it that way for the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She washes it, it's going to go back to the natural texture it is. You know why she doesn't wear it that texture? Because it's hot, it's unmanageable, it's hard to comb through. Like there's so many different dynamics that people don't think about. And that's the same thing I was just thinking about this too with weight loss. It's like people are like, well, don't congratulate somebody for losing weight. But why?
Why not?
You don't know what their mental state was that got them there. Right. You're absolutely right. I don't know. But I'm not out here. So now I'm not going to compliment somebody that did a great job because I'm scared that somebody else is going to think I'm being mean. Like what? When did we become like Instagram has made it like people get so, it's now a term now apparently in the entertainment industry of having a canceled fund. So like you put money aside in case you post something and it offends people to the point that you get canceled and you no longer can work.
That is awful.
That is ridiculous. Like what happened to a rainy day fund? Now we need a canceled fund in case you post something on social media that people don't like, or they pull something out of the woodwork that makes you look terrible. Like it's ridiculous. And I think the last thing I'm going to say is, so you sent me a text message about the kid on American Idol that got that stepped down, quote unquote, for American Idol, who was used in the top 5 or 6 or whatever. He stepped down from American Idol because a video somebody posted, because somebody sucks, a video of him as a 12-year-old boy with what looked like a KKK hood on. Well, apparently his mother came out and said it actually isn't a KKK hood. It's a reference to a movie, but I understand she named this movie, but I understand how people could perceive that.
Wait,
as
what movie?
I forget the name of the movie, but it was in the article you sent me.
Okay, was it Oh Brother Art Thou or Scream or what movie? Like which movie? Okay, I'll look at it.
It was not the movie where they were specifically using the hoods in a KKK way. It was actually some horror movie, apparently.
So was it Scream? Was it Scream?
No, it was a movie. If it was Scream, when you said it, they would have reminded me. It was
a movie
I'd never heard of.
Okay, I'll look.
So apparently his mom said that was a reference and that's not what he meant, but she understands how people could perceive it that way. Now, he recorded this video.
Oh, The Strangers, Pray at Night. That was the name.
Pray at Night. Thank you. I've never seen this movie, but apparently it was a reference to that movie, okay? which is what he was doing in this video. Now, on the one hand, it's like, well, maybe I don't know this movie, so this could be completely out of bounds. But if somebody's walking around in a ghost costume, like Charlie Brown, you could easily think that he was looking like a KKK member, because all white with the holes in the eyes and the mouth.
Mm-hmm. But they don't have it doesn't have a pointy top to it, though, if you're using
Okay, I guess.
a sheet.
I'm just saying that, like, now obviously I don't support the KKK and I don't support anybody doing any of that. But I do think there's a situation where it's like, people
ask questions first.
Yes, and he was 12. And American Idol, ABC was so he stepped down before the article even came out that this was a thing. So there was no choice made. It was like, well, this is what it looks like. It could possibly be. That's it. And also, so to that point, if he came out and said, "Look, I'm sorry, but I was younger." He's 16 right now. Okay, he said, "I'm sorry, I was 12 years old. I was younger. I was literally referencing a movie, but I'm sorry for the thing." If he had said anything else but that, if he had said, "I don't understand why people are so mad. This was nowhere near the intention," and he just left it at that, people were like, "Well, you're not going to apologize." But since he apologized, I'm sure people are saying, well, there's no apology. He should have known. It's like, what do you know what I'm saying? With Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart had that situation where it was like, well, people are like, well, you're only apologizing now because people are forcing you. Justin Timberlake, you're only apologizing now because people are calling you out. And it's like, well, you don't accept my apology? But if he doesn't apologize, then he gets criticized. There is no...
I think it's because there's always two sides and you can't please both sides. So it's like in Hollywood, the side that you have to appease is the liberal side, because the conservative, if you are conservative, then the liberal side's going to eat you alive, and that is Hollywood. So, and the public perception and the politically correct way to be is liberal. Granted, honestly, coronavirus has made my line a little more gray than I thought it was, just to be honest. There's some things that I was like, you know what, I'm really hard, fast, liberal on this, and this is the way it should be. And I think that during this whole process of like people really having to figure out and hang on to what they strongly believe in, I think I'm a lot more conservative about situations than I thought I was. And I think it comes with having a kid now and looking at it and being like, when I was in my 20s, it wouldn't have affected me in any way. You know what I mean? But now that I have a kid, I'm like, well, that could affect my kid. Like that could be, you know what I mean? So I think my perspective is different. But I think that it's just so frustrating. That Paw Patrol, people are out here canceling Chase the police dog because he is a police dog. Or Blippi, who... Good, thank God, because Steven is so smart that he was like, you know what? I'll just not be Blippi anymore. Somebody else can play Blippi. I'll just sit over here and make money. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to lose my entire franchise. Y'all don't want me to be Blippi? Fine. Somebody else can be Blippi. I will sit at home and...
He didn't even do something as bad. Remember that whole scandal with Blue's Clues? He was like, wasn't he doing... Or what was the really weird guy? Pee-wee Herman, who was actually did something disgusting, like some type of sexual something he did in a movie theater or something. That there's no canceling. He's a criminal. That's completely different. You know what I'm saying? We're not out here. This is not like saying justice doesn't need to be served for people who are criminals, who do something criminal. I understand if you do something criminal and you're playing a child character, that's fine. But the reality which people don't want to accept is that kids don't know.
Nope.
Nor do they care. All they see is a character. Like Barney, the original guy that played Barney, there was some scandal with him. They don't care. Children do not care. They just care about the person that they're watching on the show. The older they get, the more they'll care. But you can't tell me Landon, he probably noticed before us.
So what's funny? What's funny? No, he didn't. What's funny is I don't watch Blippi. I listen to Blippi. So I was walking around the house listening to Landon watching Blippi, and I was like, his voice, I was like, babe, Blippi's got some bass in his voice now all of a sudden. And I was just like, that's all I said. I just chalked it up to like, maybe their audio has changed because of coronavirus and they had to like, they couldn't go on like, they couldn't go on location for stuff. So maybe it was just in studio audio was just a little bit different. That's literally what I'm thinking. It did not even occur to me that it was different, dude, because I don't pay that close attention. Mm-hmm. So I think it, as long as what my son is what is entering to my son's subconscious is not something negative, mm-hmm. then I don't really care that much about their backstory. I'm the same when I watch sports. I do not care. Really, I don't care what you're doing. As long as it's not violent or you're out here like killing people or whatever, like if you're a criminal, then yeah. But if you just say something dumb or I don't care that much. It really doesn't bother me at all. Like, yeah. Just let people make their mistakes and be people, Yeah. So.
All right. Well, on that note, do you have a go girl or no girl?
You go first. I don't think I do, but you can go.
Okay. So my go girl this week is that we went to the grand reopening of Sky Zone. If you guys don't know what Sky Zone is, it's like a trampoline park out here. They're national, so I'm sure there's people that know of them. They're national and they just reopened. They've literally been closed since April. They opened for 3 weeks and then got closed again in April, and they haven't reopened since because the mandate was saying that you could only have 20% capacity of the facility. And they were like, well, we're not going to open for 20% capacity because they already had lines out the door, and it just obviously didn't make sense logistically. So I think they're supposed to be at 50% capacity. I don't even know what the mandate is. But they reopened. So Phoenix loves Sky Zone. We had a membership there before. We were going there 3 times a week. Everyone knows us, like the managers and everybody still knows us. They still remembered us from when we used to go before. Thankfully, they retained a lot of their staff. They have new staff, but they retained the same management. And I was kind of thinking that we would just see all new people and nobody would know us. They were amazing. I posted a video of our trip on my Instagram reels. So if you guys want to see like a kind of highlights from that, go ahead. I'm extremely sore today because I worked out on Saturday morning and then went and jumped at Sky Zone twice in the same day. Yay. So yeah, it was super fun, and Phoenix is so happy that it's open, and I can't wait to get like some of my friends and their kids together and we can all make a trip and stuff because it's super fun. Oh, the other thing I was going to say was they have a ninja, like a ninja course. I need to get Derek to send me the video and I'll post it on Instagram. They have a ninja course that I couldn't do before. And
nice.
I did it. Like the one that has like the 2 swinging bars, Amber, and then you like
nice
cheese walls. I did it. So
I want to see.
Yeah, I'll get Derek to text it to me and I'll send it to you and I'll probably post it on social too. Yeah, so nice. I was super proud of myself. It's amazing what losing 30 pounds does, like.
Right.
Anyways, did you think of one?
Yeah, I mean, mine is I think it's kind of dumb, but I just got my first paycheck for the first time in a year.
Woo!
This week. So last week. I was so proud to see a paycheck that had my name on it. I mean, it went into my account, but still, I was so proud. And I'm actually doing really well at my job. I got through an entire week by myself. I had worked, last week was 2 weeks. And Christina, who is the accounting specialist that has worked for the company for almost 3 years now, I am her counterpart, and she was gone for a week. She was gone my entire second week. So I was kind of fending for myself last week, and nothing burned down, like nothing crazy happened. So I was pretty proud of that. So that was awesome. It closed out the week really good. So but yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Yay.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap us up, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully this was a good episode for you guys. I think this was a good topic for us because of just everything that's been going on lately. So if you have any thoughts, obviously you can comment on the post that will correspond with this video or with this, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment. or if you're listening, comment on the Instagram post that will correspond to this episode. And yeah, we won't talk to you guys until a few months from now, but thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will keep up on our social and you guys can see what's going on there. Please follow us at A Dreamer's Heart or at Twin Lee to see what's going on with us in the meantime over this summer. And yeah, we'll have an episode back for you guys probably
first week of August, probably. Last week of July, first week of August.
Yeah, last week of July, first week of August, because Phoenix goes back July 21st, and that's a Wednesday. So
yeah,
that won't work, but the week after, or the week, with the next 2 weeks after that. So, but yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.